The transfer clears on a Tuesday, not a birthday, not a holiday, not a day anyone would circle on a calendar. A Tuesday. $1.3 million for a piece of software you built quietly for 11 years, mostly alone, mostly at night, until a larger company decided it wanted what you had made. You are standing in your own kitchen when the screen confirms it. Outside there is a sprinkler running and a lawn mower 2 houses down and the sound of your family already gathering in the backyard for a barbecue that nobody planned around this, 'cause nobody knows yet. And here is the number you actually notice by the end of that afternoon. Not the one that just landed in your account, a different one. The number of people at that table who ask how you are doing, not how much you made, not what you are going to buy, just how you are is one. You count it without meaning to. And the thing you feel is not pride. It is closer to shame, and you cannot yet say why. Here is what 11 years actually looked like, in case the number has already started rewriting the story backwards, because it does that. It looked like a small desk in a small room. It looked like weekends that were not weekends. It looked like saying no to things you wanted to say yes to, and watching people your own age buy houses and take trips and post about all of it while you stayed home and fixed something at 2 in the morning that maybe 4 people in the world would ever notice. You did not build this in a garage with friends and a good story to tell later. You built it in silence, and silence does not photograph well, so nobody around you ever really saw it happening. To your family, you were just the one who was always busy, always tired, always a little bit somewhere else. And now you are at the barbecue, in the same plastic chair you have sat in for 15 summers, and your uncle is at the grill where he is always at the grill. He is burning the burgers. He is burning them on purpose, black on the outside, the way he has always burned them, because ruining the meat and daring you to say something is his whole personality at these things. 2 weeks ago, that was just your uncle. Today, you look at him and you feel a grief you have no name for, because something has shifted and you can feel it shifting, and you cannot make it stop. You are holding the same paper plate. You are standing on the same grass. But there is a pane of glass between you and every person here now, and you are the only one who can see it. Your cousin makes a joke, the kind that is half a joke. Something about how when you start hiring, you had better take care of family first. Everybody laughs. You laugh too. And a part of you, a part you are not proud of, starts keeping score. Here is the part that is easy to miss, and it is the part nobody warns you about, because everyone is too busy warning you about taxes and lawyers and relatives who will come asking. A large amount of money does not turn the people around you into villains. That is the lie you half expect, and it would almost be easier if it were true, because a villain you can be angry at cleanly. What money actually does is quieter and stranger than that. It reprices everything. Every conversation you have from now on carries a second layer underneath it that was not there before. When your mother asks if you are eating enough, you hear the question, and then you hear the second question under it, the one about whether you are still hers or whether you have floated up somewhere she cannot follow. When your brother goes quiet at dinner, the silence used to just be silence. Now it has weight. Now you catch yourself reading it. Did that land wrong? Is he waiting for me to offer? Am I supposed to say something? Nobody has changed a single word of how they speak to you, and yet every word means 3 things now, and you are the one doing all the translating, all day, inside your own head, at your own family's table. And this is where it turns, so stay with me, because this is the part you will get wrong for years if you do not catch it right now. You will tell yourself the distance came from them, that they got greedy, that they started seeing dollar signs, that they changed. Some of them will ask for things, of course. Someone will float a number for a business idea, say $40,000, and the exact figure does not matter. Pick your own, because the number was never really the point. But here is the truth you do not want, and I am going to say it plainly. The distance did not begin when they started asking. The distance began the moment you started counting. The scorecard was yours. You built it. You are the one who now walks into a room full of the people who raised you and quietly tallies who has asked and who has not, who deserves and who is taking, and the second you did that, you stopped seeing your family and started auditing them. Money did not change them. Money changed what you were willing to see. That is the mechanism. It does not take anything from you by force. It just hands you a ledger and waits to see whether you will start writing in it. Now watch what happens, because from here the story splits in 2, and both versions begin from exactly the same Tuesday, the same $1.3 million, the same uncle burning the same burgers. One variable changes between them. Only one. Whether you let money become the language you speak with the people you love. In the first version, you say yes. Yes to the $40,000 for the business idea. Yes to the loan that will not come back. Yes to the roof. Yes to the flight. Yes and yes and yes. Because yes is fast and yes buys quiet, and yes lets you leave the room without a fight. And I want to be careful here because it is easy to make this the cautionary version, and it is not that simple. Everything you buy in this version is real. The roof stops leaking, the car starts in the morning, the surgery happens. These are not small things, and the relief on your mother's face when the last of the house is finally paid off, say the last 90,000 of a mortgage she has carried for 30 years, that relief is real too, and nobody gets to tell you it was not worth it. But watch what it costs slowly underneath. Every yes is also a small withdrawal from an account you cannot see the balance of. You start to notice the phone only rings when something is needed. You start to notice you are never invited to a thing anymore, only asked for a thing. And the scorecard you started keeping fills up page after page until one day you understand that you have become a function inside your own family, not a brother, not the kid who used to get teased at that same grill, a service, a source. The person you go to when the number is not big enough. And here is the cruelty of it. Nobody did that to you. You did it one easy yes at a time, because saying yes felt like love and saying no felt like betrayal, and nobody ever taught you there was a third thing. In the second version, you learn the third thing. You still help, but you help on purpose. You still give, but you decide the shape of it, instead of letting the shape be decided by whoever asks the loudest. And you pay for that too, make no mistake. You get called changed, distant. You get the look that says you think you are better now that you have money. That look costs. But on the far side of it, there is something the first version never gets to keep, and it is the only thing that ever mattered. So run them both forward, 5 years down each road, and look at what is standing there. In the first version, 5 years on, you have a family that is taken care of and a family that no longer quite knows you. Everyone is fine. Everyone is provided for. Nobody is in crisis. And every gathering has a faint transactional hum underneath it that no one will name, a sense that you are the one who fixes things, the one who is fine, the one who does not need checking on, because how could you have $1.3 million. What could you possibly need? You are the least worried about person at a table full of people you love, and that is its own specific kind of lonely, the loneliest kind, the kind you cannot even complain about without sounding ungrateful, so you do not complain, so nobody knows, so it grows. In the second version, 5 years on, some of the money is gone in ways the first version would call foolish, and some of the relationships are cooler than they used to be, and there was a hard year in the middle where 2 people did not speak to you at all, but you are still a person to them. When you walk in, somebody still asks how you are and actually means it, and the number of people at that table who ask is no longer one. Now here is the honest part, and I am not going to dress it up, because this is where most videos lie to you and I am not going to. Money bought real things. It is not nothing, and I will not pretend it is nothing. It bought your mother's surgery. It bought the paid-off house and a deed with no bank's name on it. It bought a niece's tuition. It bought the end of the 2 in the morning ceiling-staring arithmetic about rent, the specific animal panic of not enough, gone, and that panic ruins people, and the money ended it, and that is a real gift, and you are allowed to feel it. But money did not buy the Sunday where nobody at the table is doing arithmetic. It did not buy your uncle looking at you and seeing you instead of a decimal point. It did not buy back the version of yourself who could sit in a plastic chair and be nobody special, the youngest, the one who gets teased, the one who is loved for no reason at all. Those things were never for sale, and the whole tragedy of the first version is that it keeps spending, trying to buy them anyway, and now the loop closes, and it closes on the grill. Because 5 years on, in both versions, your uncle is still standing at that grill, and he is still burning the burgers, black on the outside, on purpose, because that was always his whole personality and $1.3 million did not touch it. He never updated. He never adjusted, because to him you were never a number to begin with, so there was nothing to recalculate, and in the first version you barely notice him anymore. But in the second version you find yourself standing next to him at that grill, holding a paper plate, saying nothing, and is the one place at the whole gathering where you are still exactly who you always were. The burnt burger turns out to be the last honest thing at the table. And that is the resolve, not despair and not triumph, just the quiet fact of it. The number was never the story. Who you had to become to keep it was the story, and what you refuse to let it touch is the only part you actually get to choose. So take the plain version of all of this with you. This is not a story about money. This is not a story about relatives who let you down. This is not a story about a table that stopped feeling like home. It is a story about a ledger you did not know you were being handed, and a quiet decision, made across 1,000 small yeses and no's about whether to write in it at all. A large number reprices every relationship you have, whether you want it to or not, and you do not get a vote on that part. The only vote you get is on the scorecard, and the scorecard is a tax you choose to pay on yourself in the currency of how you let yourself see the people who raised you. You cannot buy your way back to being uncounted. Nobody can. But you can decide on purpose what the money is never allowed to touch, and you can guard that one thing like it is the entire fortune, because it is. So here is the question, and I want a specific answer, not a general one. If $1.3 million cleared into your account this coming Tuesday, name the one person you already know would ask you first, and then name the one person you know would never ask at all. Put both names in the comments. You already know them. You knew them before this video even started. And one last thing. When you picture that afternoon, do not picture the number in your account. Picture the grill. Picture the burnt burger. Picture the one person who asked how you were and did not ask you for anything, and go be that person for somebody else before you end up at the head of the table with the biggest number and the smallest circle. This is for education and for entertainment. It is not financial advice. Every figure in it is an example and not a promise. And the only research that counts is the kind you do on your own life, with your own people, before the money makes the choice for you.